Finally, Nathan, we made it to the beach.
Oh, amen, Matthew. Whew, I'm so glad we could get away for spring break.
Yeah, we definitely needed a break from school, work, and especially arguing. It's good that we don't have to worry about the podcast right now.
Dude, that's so true. Oh, hey, look. They're playing beach volleyball down that way.
Gross.
Okay, alright, but further down is a cricket game. Nothing's better than a cricket game on that beach. Looks like it's on its second day, too.
Dude, everyone knows cricket games are only good and really fun on day 4.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Ooh, there's a guy flying a kite. Maybe we could get some kites and do that, too.
Aren't you forgetting something, though?
I don't think so. What?
Haul it in, boys!
Why is there a dump truck here?
You'll see. Now, stand right here beside me. No, a little closer. No, get away from me. That's too close. Alright, right there. Just like that. Right behind the truck.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, Mac! Let her rip!
Well, gosh, what the heck is this stuff, Matthew?
Relax. It's just sunscreen. Mac here is the only way we were able to take 10 tons worth.
We don't need that much.
Look at your pasty white skin and think again.
Yeah, it's ultra white, like a celebrity's teeth.
Exactly. You're welcome.
Look, fine. Let's just go into the water and wash all this off.
No, it needs to dry and set in. If we wash it off now, the sun rays will vaporize us.
Yeah, I wish it would just vaporize you.
Wow.
Whatever, I'm going for a walk. Maybe it'll drip off.
Alright, I'll go with you.
Ooh, oh look, dude, a conch shell. I love collecting these.
They're okay, I guess.
You don't like seashells?
I mean, they're fine. I just wouldn't waste my time collecting them, because I only collect things that truly matter. Things that make my apartment look more sophisticated. It's all about sophistication when it comes to collecting, and seashells are the most basic.
Whatever, snob. Ow, gosh! Oh, I just stubbed my toe on something.
Careful! Hey, get away from that! Get away from it!
Bro, it's just a stupid soda can.
How dare you? This is a 1977 Dr. Pepper can. This was produced in the same year that Tom Landry led the Cowboys to their second Super Bowl win. The fact that this can existed the same year as one of the most historic events in Texas history is mind-blowing to think about. Once this can is all nice and cleaned up, it'll look great in my collection.
You have a collection of soda cans?
No, Nathan. Just having soda cans would be ridiculous. I collect glass bottles too.
You can't say that's better than collecting seashells.
Sure I can.
Dude, you can't.
Okay. Hey, we gotta stop because we're arguing. This is spring break. We said no working on podcast stuff while we're out here.
Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's just keep going.
You know, it's silly to argue all the time. I mean, we always argue about the stupidest stuff, too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wait. What's that in the distance? Oh my gosh, dude. That's a beached whale. Dude, we have to go save the whale and push it back into the sea.
We absolutely cannot.
What? Why not?
Number one, neither of us can push a beached whale into the ocean. Number two, on the dunes over there, there's a nest of baby sea turtles, and they're starting to hatch from their eggs. But there's a large pelican flying around and waiting to eat them. We have to save them.
Okay, I hear you, but Matthew, the whale. We have to save the whale.
No, we have to save the baby sea turtles.
Wrong. Whale.
No, baby sea turtles.
Duh. Okay, look. There's no time to argue. We have to save one of them.
I thought this might happen. Mac, bring it in.
No! No more sunscreen!
No. Chill out. Mac also brought our podcasting equipment. Deep down, I knew there was no way we could go a week without arguing, so I had him bring our stuff too. I figured it'd be fun to record an episode on the beach.
You know what? That's a pretty good idea. There is a lot of stuff we could say about the beach, so this will be good.
Yep. Well, let's get all this set up and start recording our beach episode of Absurd Arguments.
Yeah, let's start.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Absurd Arguments from the beach.
Ah, the beach.
I'm Matthew, and I'm here with my good friend Nathan, who, just for your own benefit, we are wearing t-shirts.
Absolutely.
We're not going in the water. We need to make sure that our skin remains unburned. But Nathan,
Yep.
how are you enjoying the beach so far?
Ah, it's so relaxing. You know, it's like I'm really here. I mean, it's just really great, and I love it.
You know what? I'm glad you're enjoying it. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is a different time because neither of us have ever gone to the beach together. But I've gone a couple times with my family, and then you've gone. I mean, we've talked about you being at the beach on this podcast before with your family.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
do you have like a standout moment of something that's just like, man, this is my favorite time at the beach with, anyone?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I remember this time we were at Panama City Beach,
Ooh,
and we were driving the back roads, and we saw it was the first Dodge Viper I ever saw.
wow.
Past, and then we stopped at this souvenir shop, and beside the souvenir shop was a single wide trailer that someone lived in, and they
Mhm.
had a fence around covered with barbed wire, and parked beside the trailer was that Dodge Viper.
What?
Yeah. So they had enough money for the Viper, and then they were like, I'll just live in a single wide. I don't need a big house or nothing. I have no money.
Yeah, all the money was spent on that nice car.
Right.
It should have been spent on better living conditions.
The guy had his priorities straight. Because
Mm,
only a guy would do such a thing.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's not very beachy, but, you know, like my family, we usually go to St. George's Island. And so that usually just kind of all the trips kind of run together, a
Mm,
lot. But
yep.
I don't know. I love the beach. It's so relaxing. Sitting, listening to the breeze, listening to the waves. It's just the best.
Yeah. I One thing you told me that I will probably never forget is that one time you went to the beach and you wore your cowboy hat, and you went to that restaurant, and then you went to that same restaurant the next day
Yeah.
and didn't have your cowboy hat, and the guy was like, "Hey, where's your hat?" Like, I I will think about that every now and then and just go, ugh. I couldn't do
I
it.
could never go. I could never go there again. I was known as the cowboy hat guy. They even asked me, "Are you from Texas?" And I had to say, "Yeah."
Mm, no, but I
It was
live
painful,
there.
you know. I had to be like, "Yeah, here I am in my
Gosh.
cowboy hat."
Yep.
Oh,
Um, I have a couple memories because I don't go to the beach very often. I live in North Texas. I've lived in North Texas my whole life, and so in order to get to the beach, we
mhm.
would have to drive like 8-10 hours. And my family
Right.
wasn't uh, the richest of families, so we didn't have many beach vacations. But there was one time I went on a little mission trip that's called Beach Reach, and uh, we had a day where we weren't doing anything, and so a couple of us went down to the beach at South Padre Island, and there was a guy who found this like wet part of the sand that was pretty far away from the shore from the water, and he just starts
Yeah.
like moving his feet up and down, and after about 10 minutes his feet were covered with sand, and he was slowly digging himself into the sand.
Whoa.
It was pretty cool. Um, Another time, I went up to England and Scotland this past summer and went to St. Andrews, Scotland, and we
Yeah.
went to the beach where they shot the opening running scene of Chariots of Fire.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so a couple of my friends who I was on the trip with, they recreated the running scene, and I was just like, I don't know how many billions of times that's probably happened.
Why didn't you recreate it too, Matthew?
I didn't want to give my I didn't so number one, um, it wasn't technically a beach day. We were touring a couple of different historical spots because it was a study tour. And so
Yeah.
that meant if I got if I took my shoes and socks off, walked around on the sand, and then had, spent some time in the water, I didn't have anything to dry off my feet and my legs with. And
Ah.
yeah, I mean, sure, it was summertime, but everyone was in like hoodies and jeans because it still gets pretty cold up in England and Scotland. So yeah,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to get all the sand and stuff and have, do an entire like we probably spent 6 hours in St. Andrews. And I'm like, I'm not going to
Oh.
walk around with wet, sandy feet in my socks.
Yeah. I mean, and sand's awful because it's just coarse and gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. Stupid Star Wars.
Shut up. You shouldn't have said from. It would have been a fun little reference for our episode, prequel episode fans.
Indeed. I mean, I'm a fan of the Star Wars prequels, but only because they're not good and very memeable.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
But we are not here to talk about our adventures on the beach. We're here to get down to the actual topic. We are here to talk about what happens at the beach, and if it's something we
Stays at the
like,
beach.
something we don't like, absolutely not. Um, and so we've got 3 things we're going to talk about, and let us go ahead and cue the music. All right, Nathan. This is a difficult question, our first one we have to ask, because
Absolutely.
it seems like a loaded question, but it is a
Mm-hmm.
question that is obvious at the same time. People go to the
Yeah.
beach to do one of two things. And
Yeah.
so that is what we are looking at. So, Nathan, our first question is, should you go in the water or stay on the beach?
Uh, what's your position, Matthew?
I think if you go to the beach, you should go in the water without a
Right.
doubt. Don't stay on the beach. Gross people do
Yeah.
gross things on the beach. You go right into the water.
What is? Let's go back a step. What do you mean gross people do gross things on the beach?
I mean, we'll get to that eventually, but you know,
What is?
people are just like, "Oh, I'm just going to take, you know, I'm going to go all the way down to the skimpiest of clothes and just lay around." Like that's
Oh, right.
disgusting. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I hate it when dudes do that. I'm a simple, honest man, Matthew. Uh, okay, all right. So gross people do gross things on the beach.
Exactly.
And so all of a sudden, the grossness is gone when they enter the water of the
I mean,
confused.
it does get washed away.
Their sin, their, their depravity,
Absolutely. You go into the water
their
and everything is totally fine.
their evil. Matthew, I think you're approaching this from the wrong way because uh have you which beaches have you been like have you been to a nice clear beach like in the Caribbean?
Yeah. I mean, not in the Caribbean, but I've been to
You know,
uh Clearwater Beach out in Florida in the Tampa Bay area. I've been to Gulf Shores, which is
right,
clear
in Alabama.
in Alabama. But the first beach I ever went to, the first time I ever saw the ocean as a middle school boy was in Galveston, Texas.
Mm,
And you want to
yeah.
talk about nasty, dirty, muddy water? That was my first impression of seeing the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, see, most of the time the beaches I go to, I mean, they've been on the Gulf of Mexico. I've been to the Atlantic before. Um, but it's just like kind of muddier, dirtier water, you know? So
Hmm.
with what you're saying, that's true, you know. Um, you get some beach babes going in that water, there you can't see a thing, you know. Um,
Exactly.
but but in the Caribbean, dude, that's where the water's nice and blue and clear,
Hmm.
you know. Like nothing's disappearing there, really.
I mean, let's be honest, Nathan. You're
Mm,
out in the water. You're going and you're just going uh, to get that little sandbar, and then you're gonna go out and you're gonna start, floating around and swimming.
yeah,
Where are your eyes looking at?
I'm looking for sharks.
Exactly. So, are you really gonna be focused on looking at the people that are around you?
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'll be so focused on
Exactly.
just and depending on if the
Surviving.
water's yeah surviving. Like if the water's choppy enough, you know, you get them big waves. You're like, I just gotta keep my feet under me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, the other thing is, I'm gonna out myself a bit here, but I was,
Okay.
a child when I
Right.
was in Galveston in the nasty, dirty Gulf of Mexico. I did want to see and experience what salt water tasted like.
Oh. Okay.
And it
Psychopath.
was terrible. I almost threw up.
How much did you drink? How much did you drink to make
Too
you almost
much,
want to throw
Nathan.
up.
Too much.
Like, I mean, everybody's tried it, you know, but, but you drank enough to want to throw up after.
Well, the thing was, I also kind of like tripped on something because again, it's not clear water, and it just kind of went down into it. So I'm like, whoa,
Right.
just got a little too much. Um.
All right.
So
Well,
yeah.
Matthew, okay. So the way you're talking about going into the water, you're talking about what are you trying to avoid by being in the water? I think you're approaching it wrong. What is there to
Okay.
do in the water?
I mean, it depends on where you go. So like, I was in Destin, Florida, with some friends, and we went to the beach there, and there was a giant uh like inflatable obstacle course out on the water, and I was like,
Oh, that's cool.
well, that's pretty cool. The only thing is, I'm not a strong swimmer, so there was no way for me to get out there without drowning. So I was just like, oh, the people that
Oh,
can swim can go have fun over there.
you didn't even try?
No, I'm too afraid. Too
No.
afraid. Even though I like being out in the water, I do like to touch the floor of pool, beach, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
I am slightly afraid of water in that way. Um,
Hmm.
but I mean, I still enjoy just like getting out there and then just, enjoying it.
Right.
Um, I mean, you can do a lot of things in the water. I mean, there's some spots in some beaches where there are a lot of fish that kind of swim by, and you can try to catch the fish with your hands. Um,
Oh, okay.
that was very difficult. I gave up pretty quickly because I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to do this.
Yeah.
And the one time I did touch a fish, it was like very unsettling for me because I'm a texture guy. I I am very
Right.
particular about the things that I feel, um, and do not like the feel of fish.
Ah. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Fish don't like the feeling of you.
It's probably true.
Oh. Hmm.
Um, I mean, you could do a lot of things that you do on the shore, but also in the water. So like people
Like
will.
drink a beer.
I mean, I wouldn't, but sure, you can do
Oh,
that. Um, you can fish. You can take your pole, go wade out a bit, and just start fishing out there. Um,
right.
I mean, there's a couple things you can do.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think it's better to stay on the land. So, like, so here's some reasons why. All right. Or there's just better alternatives to do on the land. Okay.
Like what?
You can sunbathe, dude. Get a tan. I know this is a foreign concept to you as a ginger, almost impossible. For me as well. I just break
Hey,
out in freckles. I don't really
I
tan.
I just want you to know that
Huh.
I worked for about 6 months uh, as maintenance for for my school for my
Yeah.
graduate school, and I went home to visit my family one day, and our uniform is a short sleeve shirt and then just any sort of like cargo pants, jeans, whatever. And I got home
Yeah.
and my grandmother told me, Matthew, you look a bit darker than I've seen you before. And I was like, I did it! I tanned! I've done it!
Whoa.
I've defied the laws of
You
nature and got darker
wow.
by spending
What if
about 2 hours every day outside.
what if she meant you're just a darker shade of red than normal?
I mean, there's also that possibility, but I don't want to think about that. I'd rather think that I've,
Right.
actually cracked the code in tanning as a ginger.
Yeah, that you actually tanned. Yeah, see, so you can tan, enjoy the sun. Um, you can just watch the waves. That's fun. Just sit there and watch the
You
waves.
can watch the waves while you're in the water too.
Look, another thing that everybody talks about is having a good beach read. You know, you have a nice book, you read it on the beach,
That's
you read
true.
some just trashy novel. You know, something your brain's off and you're just reading this trashy novel, enjoying the beach.
Nathan.
Huh.
So when I was at the beach with my friends in Destin, I recently bought a book about this guy's memoir of his campaigns in World War II
Okay.
while I was on the beach, and
All right.
it was fabulous.
So some people have light reading. Matthew's like, nah, let's learn some history. Uh,
Absolutely.
but hey, to each their own. Um, but but Matthew, I also want to get into the the unknown, the unknown of going into the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's this phenomenon called thalassophobia or something like that, where it's the fear of what's in the water. You know,
Mm.
and it's like you were
Scantily
saying.
clad people.
If only. No, there are little fishes. Like, have you ever just been into the sea and little fishes are just nibbling on your legs and stuff? You
No.
know? Oh, that's happened to me. Um, there's also this time, this coworker I had once, he went to a beach. I think this was in a South American country. And so he misread one of the signs, but he was with his friends. They went to a sea urchin beach.
Oh
Said,
no.
warning, don't go here because it's full of sea urchins. They couldn't read the sign, so they went, and he stepped on a sea urchin and had to go to the hospital
Oh
to
my
get the pins
gosh.
removed.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah. I've also read. Now this one terrifies me immensely, Matthew, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry if this is too much for the podcast, but I've seen. I saw a video one time on National Geographic. I mean, a show, I guess, talking about weird creatures, and there was this one type of fish that when it swims places, it has these spikes that'll come out from its neck,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a guy who is near the water, and he was peeing in the water, and the fish swam up his and got stuck in there. I'm
No.
terrified. I'm terrified of that happening in the sea.
No. There's no way.
Yeah, yeah, way.
Oh my gosh. Was
There's the title.
two
I saw it
questions.
as a kid.
Two questions
Yes,
though. Very quickly. Number 1, how small was the fish? And number 2,
exactly.
how big?
Let's see. Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh.
What's it called?
I just looked it up, Matthew. It's the candy-roo fish. It's also I'm sorry, folks. It's known as the fish.
No.
Oh, it's
No, it is
it's an
not.
Amazonian. Yeah. Yeah. It's an Amazonian fish.
Oh, oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No. No.
Or
Oh,
it's known for,
no.
yeah.
Oh. Oh.
It's a tiny parasitic catfish.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
dude. I can't. I can't.
Yeah. The fish I love this comment. The fish has long been reputed to be capable of swimming up a person's during urination in affected waters, causing untold physical harm and psychological trauma.
Dude. I did not know this fish was real. I
The
looked at a
psychological.
picture. I cannot. I
I told you.
Oh my gosh, dude, every single muscle in my body is now super tense.
Dude,
I
it's terrifying.
ugh.
Like Like, y'all look it up. Candy-roo.
No, don't look it
Or,
up. Do not.
or the
Anytime someone says Google this, do not Google this. I should have known that. Ah,
dude, they call it the vampire catfish.
that's
This is
so
great.
true. Ugh.
Yeah. But I'm just telling you, dude, and that was a show I saw as a little kid, and that has stuck with me. And this is only in the Amazon. I forgot it's only in the Amazon. That's a
Okay.
Big
Oh
River.
my gosh. Why did you bring it up like it was on every beach ever? And it's like actually it's just in
Because
the
I thought
Amazon.
so. I
Oh
thought it
my
was,
gosh.
dude. I thought it was.
You
Oh,
had me for a second of like I'm never going to a beach ever again. And now I'm just like, well, now I'm just not going to go to the Amazon.
I like I I like how on Bing there was a section. Maybe I lost it, but find inspiration with the candy root fish. And I was like, I
What?
don't want to. Yeah, maybe it's gone now.
Gross. Oh
Uh huh.
my gosh.
Yeah, inspiration.
I
I
mean,
don't need inspiration.
all you've told me is just don't go in the water in the Amazon, which I wasn't going to do
Yeah,
anyways because
I.
there's so many deadly fish over there.
I is it bad that I would rather encounter an anaconda, a flock, a herd of anacondas, than this one singular candy root fish?
Gross.
I would rather the anacondas grab me and crush me than for me to be around one candy root fish.
According to the San Diego Zoo, a group of anaconda is called a bed or a knot.
Oh yeah, give me a knot of them bad boys. So yeah,
Gross. All right.
just
Oof.
yeah, I think we should move on. I'm
I
tired of
think
this.
so. So let's talk about what's more terrifying. The
Candy root
candy root
fish.
fish, number one. But outside
If
of the candy
how
root
about
fish,
no. Here's how we phrase it. If the candy root fish didn't exist,
yes.
which of the two creatures we're about to mention is more terrifying? Sharks or seagulls?
Mm. All right. So I'm gonna go on a rant, but before I get there, Nathan, since I went first last time,
Yeah, I'll go
why are
first.
for you? You've got sharks. Why are sharks
Right,
more terrifying?
dude. Sharks. Okay, had sharks are just full of terror, and we can thank Steven Spielberg for that. You
Mm,
know, because nobody knew what a shark was until he released Jaws.
that's a
You know,
bold statement.
yeah. I mean, Ernest Hemingway thought there might have been sharks because he wrote The Old Man in the Sea,
Hmm.
and his big fish gets eaten by sharks a bit. But like nobody had seen one since Ernest Hemingway. And Spielberg was like, "Y'all need to know the true terror." Um,
I'm glad
like,
people don't come to this podcast for their knowledge on marine life because that was the biggest load of bull I've ever heard you say on this podcast.
yeah, you're right. Okay, all right. Sharks might have existed. Look, the fact that an animal got a film made after it called Jaws, okay,
Uh-huh.
you know, indicates there's something to be feared about that creature.
Hmm.
And not only that, having like on the Animal Planet, or whatever channel, having Shark Week exist,
Mm.
a whole week dedicated to studying these terrifying creatures. I don't know anybody going, "Oh, hey, have you seen that classic 80s movie Gull? Seagull?"
Mm. Hmm.
Nobody's saying that. Like like Alfred Hitchcock had the birds, but those birds were not seagulls. Like
That's
he picked a
true.
scarier bird, you know? Um so
Sure.
that's one reason. All right? That's one reason is media has hyped up how terrifying sharks are. All right? Um dude, and sharks, I think it's the teeth, man. You know? They've got all those rows of teeth, you know? And there's like different types of sharks too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got the great big daddy of them all, the great white shark, super hype, super cool. But then there's other cooler sharks like the hammerhead shark, just a true freak of nature,
Mm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
You've got the sleek tiger sharks. Those are pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Dude, you even have things called a whale shark,
Yeah, it's just like
half
you.
whale. Shut up. Jerks. But they're terrifying,
Mm-hmm.
half friendly whale, but at a moment's notice, it could turn into a vicious shark.
Mm.
Also, let's be real, nothing clears out the water of a beach faster than one, a school of candy root being around, but also a shark fin spotted out in the distance. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you see that people just run onto the beach.
Yep.
They're vicious.
But
Yeah.
Nathan,
Uh huh.
everybody knows to be afraid of a shark.
Yeah.
So let me put it this way. According to the Florida Museum of Natural History,
Okay.
in 2023, there were a total of 69 confirmed unprovoked cases in line with the most recent 5-year average of 63 incidents annually. So in 2023, there were 69 confirmed unprovoked cases of shark bites compared to the average from 2018 to 2022 of 63.
Yeah.
According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, there are from anywhere between 500 to 3,000 attacks of hippopotamus every year.
Okay. Well, I'm scared of them too, Matthew.
Exactly. So, number one, the shark is not as scary as a hippopotamus. And number two, the seagull.
Wait a second. Let me rebut real quick. Okay.
Okay.
That's a great point. There's only 69 bites in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Imagine having people still so afraid of you
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't even done much. You
Mm-hmm.
know? Like that is a reputation, dude. You know? Oh, I've
Sure.
only attacked people 69 times and yet everyone on the planet is terrified of me. Like
Yeah, but
that's saying
that's
something.
well, that's the stigma though, is those were unprovoked, which is
Yeah.
still significantly less than number one, people who do provoke a shark and then, mess around and find out. But
Yeah, they
second,
deserve it.
exactly, like stupid people.
Mhm.
If you've ever been attacked by a shark, our dearest condolences to you. But
Right. And your missing limb.
but on the other hand, it's less than 70 by one
Yeah.
a year.
Nice. Right.
we have to think how many times do people like get surrounded by seagulls every day. Their sandwiches get taken because they set it down to pick up their book and all of a sudden the sandwich is gone. How many
Oh, yeah.
times have little children been traumatized by a seagull flying just towards them and they just
Right.
scream in terror, knowing that
Oh, I
yes,
love it.
the greater threat of the shark is in the water, but the more imminent threat is hovering just a few inches above them.
uh, okay. I didn't want to say this,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll say it. There is something a bit more impressive when you see a video of somebody punching a seagull rather than punching a shark.
Exactly.
Like I mean, you'll see it occasionally. They'll be like, here, shark, I'm going to punch you, or
Hmm.
like gently redirect you to swim elsewhere. But
Yep.
golly, dude, watching a dad just go up to a seagull and punch its lights out, it's there is a sick satisfaction in that for me. I really like that.
And it's also important to note that if there is a shark in the water, there is a signal that goes off telling people to get out, be aware there is a
Yeah,
shark in the water, just so that those, we don't get 70 unprovoked attacks, because then that would totally ruin
right.
the good news.
Yeah, that wouldn't be nice at all.
No, it wouldn't. Nice. But then there are no, there's no signal, there's no warning that a seagull is around you. Those
Oh,
those
bruh,
suckers
there is.
they're a menace. They're quick. They go in, they get your sandwich, they leave. You don't know where your sandwich is. You think, the dude sitting beside you in the very close proximity, because you're on a public beach and there are too many people there. You're just like, he took your
Right.
sandwich, and he's just, getting an argument, a conflict over that.
Never.
It was the stupid seagull that did it. But we're more
Yeah.
afraid of a shark just because it's present. Like, we
Yeah.
don't realize
See,
the fact that the seagull is a greater disturbance to any peaceful day at the beach than any sort of like shark sighting.
well, here's the issue, Matthew. I am more. I Yes, while it would be bad if I lost my sandwich
Mm-hmm.
that my mom had made for my lunch, that would be very upsetting. But I would rather lose 10,000 sandwiches than lose an arm or lose a leg in a shark attack. You know, the threat is
Nathan,
still
I
greater.
don't mean to belittle you,
Hmm.
but
Don't
I
say it.
but I
Nathan, I'm
hide.
shocked that you'd be willing. I'm shocked that you'd be willing to lose 10,000
No,
sandwiches.
no.
Uh
I
huh.
highly doubt you would get attacked by a shark. I don't think you're that special of a statistic. You could be one in the 130 million people that live in coastal areas, that you, of all people, would be one of 69.
Nice. Bro, that's not very nice at all. Look, I I don't know whether to be weirdly insulted or just reassured in this moment. The phrase "you are not special enough to be a statistic" is one of the meanest things I've ever heard anyone say. But it's also kind of nice.
It's true.
Oh, thanks, Matthew, for your reassurances. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. That's what I'm here. I'm here to bring you back down to earth. You're not that special, Nathan.
You're not. Oh, jeez. All right, let's move on.
Yep, that brings
Stupid
us to our
sharks.
last one. Something that is a special time that you can do
Oh,
on the beach. And it is
right.
one of two things. Number
Yep.
one, building a sandcastle. And number two, a callback to our early episodes of
Right.
digging a giant hole in the ground.
Yeah. Why don't you start us off, Matthew? What should I do?
Well, first off, I think, number one, that building a sandcastle is really cool, but it's also very difficult.
Yeah.
The art of a sandcastle is something that has been definitely mastered, but I don't know if we can say it's been perfected,
Yeah, we haven't
because
gone far enough.
exactly, we don't have livable sandcastles yet.
No.
It's I mean, the
Wait.
only time I've ever seen that is like SpongeBob, but
I was thinking the city of Petra, but I guess it's built into rock, not
yeah, that's a
sand.
rock, not it's not sand yet.
Ah, yeah.
But with a sandcastle, you can create some really, really amazing, like, sculptures pretty much.
Yeah.
Or you can do the little kid thing and you have the little, you go to the, the local tourist trap kind of shop and you have those little like buckets that you fill with sand, you turn it over and boom, you have like a tower of your castle.
Right.
I mean, you can do all sorts of things with it. It can be simple, it can be complex. It all depends on the sculptor though. Who is the one making it? And for most people who go and visit beaches, you're not going to have that kind of talent. And so that is when you do see something that is absolutely incredible, you can really take a moment and go, wow, this is art. Everything about this is beautiful. Digging a
Yeah.
hole in the ground is just work. That's it.
What? I don't know. It's not really. Like,
Okay, defend
it's
it. Defend that statement. How is
okay.
digging a hole not work?
Okay, how is it not work to build a sandcastle? You know? You're having
It's
to
it's
construct the
different.
that's
So okay,
that's
so
literally construction.
okay,
Matthew, making walls and a
so
roof.
here's what I'm going on. Building a sandcastle is art. It is sure you can say it's construction, but I'm going as people get paid to dig holes all the time. That is
Yeah.
work. People most of the time do not get paid to build a sandcastle. You do that as just an expression. You can do that there, and you can't build a sandcastle out of clay because then it's you know not a sandcastle anymore. It's just clay. Like there are specific times you can build or specific places you can build a sandcastle. It's at the beach where there is sand. You can dig a hole anywhere, and you have to dig a hole for a lot of the work that you do. But in order to build a sandcastle, that requires time and effort and certain expertise. A hole is a hole.
Uh Matthew, I'm kind of torn because as the resident big hole digger uh of the podcast, um I feel as if I have a voice that must declare the benefits of digging a big hole,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because last time I explained to you why digging a big hole in the backyard is way better than visiting the Grand Canyon. Um, but Matthew, I'm a bit torn. I'm a bit torn on this one
Mm-hmm.
because I looked up big holes dug in the beach. All right,
Uh-huh.
for inspiration. All right. The only inspiration I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
is from headlines from NPR like digging deep holes on the beach can be deadly. Apparently, I mean, it's not funny, but a dude and his sister, uh, an 18-year-old, died in Maine from digging a big hole in the beach,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
it collapsed on him.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, this is apparently a thing, Matthew. I thought it was just funny. Oh, let's just dig a big hole in the beach. There's TikTok trends about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, hey, it's just a lot of fun. But no! Apparently, it's super dangerous. I mean, we all knew this, but like you could die because the sand, when you're digging in, wet sand's easier to build with,
Mm-hmm.
and so you start out with this wet sand and you build a really nice big hole, but then it dries out and gets crumbly. And so if you're in the hole and it crumbles, all of that weight of the sand is on top of you. And
Mm.
bro, sand weighs a lot apparently,
It
you
does.
know? And so you're there, you can't breathe, you know?
Mm.
So it's dangerous. Also, you could fall in the hole, you could break your leg or ankle or something. Um, let's say there's emergency vehicles that need to get on the beach. They could get stuck in the giant, I shouldn't laugh.
Oh.
They could get stuck in the giant hole, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's I can't in good conscience anymore really argue for the benefit of digging a giant hole in the beach. I heck, even Mental Floss, the website Mental Floss, has the reason you shouldn't dig holes at the beach, and they talk about the same thing. But also they mention their suggestions is if you must dig a big hole in the beach, you know, just dig it knee high to the shortest person in your group, so they can get out if they get trapped in the big giant hole in the beach.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So, folks, fans of giant big holes dug in the beach, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I used to be. I thought I could be the biggest proponent for this. I thought I could be a spokesman for the benefits of this, but the but the negatives outweigh the positives. You know?
It's true.
Sure, you could draw a crowd. Sure, you could have fun with your friends. Sure, you could have a fun little picture of you and your best friend standing in the giant hole in the beach. But it's not worth it for the potential death or injury. So,
Well,
I've turned over a new leaf, Matthew. I'm just not as obsessed with giant holes dug in the ground or the beach as I used to be.
wow. I don't know if I should be proud or if I should say, Nathan, this is the worst content you could have ever come up with on a stupid comedy podcast.
I know. I was like, I don't know, but like, I was just like, I just want to see funny pictures of the big holes in the beach. And then all I'm seeing is these articles. And they were just guilt tripping me so bad. Like, I was like, New York Post, I'm sorry. Why are you? I just think it's kind of funny. And they're like, how dare you?
Wow.
People have died.
Wow.
So,
well,
yeah. Hey, if you're going to play in the sand, just build a stupid sandcastle. You know, that's fine.
Thank you for listening to our PSA on not digging holes on the beach.
Yeah. All I know is that the four things we must fear the most are: 1, the kangaroo fish in the Amazon; 2, seagulls stealing my sandwich; 3, falling into a giant hole in the beach; and 4, never becoming a statistic. Not being special enough to become a statistic. Those are the 4 things we need to fear the most.
Indeed. So, let's go ahead and cue that music. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Absurd Arguments. And do not forget that you can always find us online. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, all that good stuff, wherever you can get your podcasts for the most part, as far as I can tell. We got an email. It is absurdargumentsforyou@gmail.com. That is absurdarguments, the number 4, the letter U @gmail.com. And Nathan, in these final moments, as we sit back and relax and take in the sun, do you have any final thoughts before we go and dig a giant hole in the sand?
We're not gonna do it. Don't turn us into the cops. Any final thoughts? I feel like that we're forgetting something. I don't, but I guess it's not that important. Yeah, just be careful out there. Stay away from seagulls. Stay away from sharks.
Yep.
Stay away from sunbathers.
Yes, definitely. And if there's any, like beached whales or something, or like baby sea. Oh my gosh.
What? Oh,
Nathan,
crap.
We were going to save thank you for listening, everybody. We need to
we gotta go. We have to
more
leave.
sunscreen. Yes, that's it. We need to reapply sunscreen.
Turn it off.
Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye,
everybody.